It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where are we truly surprised that Vince McMahon couldn't stay away from the WWE? Yeah, big thumbs down there. It is Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to January 9th, your official, unofficial home of the Raw kickoff show. College Football National Championship is about 20 minutes away from getting kicked off as well. TCU in Georgia. WWE probably hoping that's going to be an ugly game, like a lot of people suspect. We'll see. A lot of things that could be up the sleeve of Triple H tonight, too, on Monday Night Raw. We will get to one of those things in our top stories today, and we will get to the rest of it once Fightful Select posts their plans for Raw here, as they usually do during our show. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers, and as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how's it going, man?
It's going, man. Look, 2022, crazy year for professional wrestling.
A little bit.
But somehow, 2023 is like, hold my beer. And it's just, we're only 9 days in, and it's been absolute pandemonium already. Like, I think 2023 already has the potential to be even an overall crazier year than 2022 was. And I don't think anybody really thought that was possible like a month ago. So
yeah, a lot of things happen. Obviously, Cody moving to WWE, Vince McMahon, all the allegations, stepping down, retiring, and it's kind of funny when I've seen many shows, many online, not just shows, but YouTube channels. It's like, God, you got to have some kind of year when Steve Austin's return to the ring is like 5th on the list.
Some people would argue it's probably lower than 5th.
Yeah.
And that's how crazy last year was. But like 2023, I'm telling you, man, I think it's going to be wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff ahead on the horizon. We will get into it. Our main stories for the evening, a lot of them are heavy WWE this week in the news, which I guess is no surprise to Vince McMahon. We will get to that a little bit. Wrestle Kingdom. I have not watched it yet, but God, I should have, because I could not fall. I couldn't fall asleep, so I should have just put it on and said, "Screw it, I'm not going to sleep." But I will try to catch up to that, because obviously a match of the year contender in there. We will get to that and talk some shows from this week. What happened, what we liked, what we disliked. And of course, as I said, we will end the show as we always do, getting you ready for Raw at the top of the hour, and of course AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. Thanks everybody here for joining us in the chat. If you're joining us live, make sure you jump in the chat, say what's up, ask us any questions, put in any comments, and let's just begin. Let's just begin with this old fuck right here.
You're not allowed to die, Marcho.
Marcho's not allowed to die.
Yes. I'm forbidding it.
Vince McMahon is back with the WWE. No surprise to anybody, but a lot of people worried that he was going to return to creative. I said this from the beginning when this news broke. I think this is just a business side of things. This is him trying to ensure that he comes home with the most money upon selling the company, which seems to be the plan, even though Meltzer is saying that he wanted to be back into creative, which Matt says is bullshit. So,
look, it's not. I'm not saying that it's bullshit. I'm just saying that if you go back and you look at the SEC filings, where all the letters are back and forth between Vince and the board, there was no point where Vince made any type of indication that he wanted to come back and into a creative role with the company. He was coming back to the board.
Would that
facilitate the sale.
Would that have been in the SEC filings though?
Oh,
The creative
dude,
part?
they were all dude. If you take the time to read through it all, every single letter, back and forth between Vince and the board, it's all there. Like it's all public knowledge. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to read, but it's all there.
Oh, kind of funny how this was announced on the 2-year anniversary of the insurrection of the Capitol, but I digress.
I'm not even touching that one, pal.
From WWE, the official press announcement, WWE is providing the following update regarding the composition, compost sounds even better, I would say, with Vince involved. The composition of the board of directors and the exploration of strategic alternatives. Today, we announced that the founder of WWE, Vince McMahon, will be returning to the board, says chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon and co-CEO Nick Khan and chief content officer Paul Levesque. You might know him as Terror Rising. We also welcome back Michelle Wilson and George Barrios to our board of directors. Together, we look forward to exploring all strategic alternatives to maximize shareholder value. Obviously, WWE is trying to sell. And like I just said, Vince McMahon is trying to make the most money off that sale because he is the man with the most stakes in the share.
Look, I've been saying for years that WWE was prepping for a sale ever since they brought Nick Khan in.
Yeah.
And Conrad Thompson actually confirmed my suspicions on the What Happened When podcast with Tony Schiavone this week, who said he's basically heard that when Khan was brought in to be with the company, that there's a bonus in his contract that he will earn more than a year of what Warner Brothers Discovery is paying AEW to host Dynamite and Rampage to facilitate a sale for WWE.
Yeah.
So like all the mass firings and everything, I was like, it looks like they're prepping for a sale. That's exactly what they were doing. They were preparing to sell the company.
Yeah.
And I think before this year is over, WWE is going to have a new owner. That owner says, we want nothing to do with you, Vince. Get the fuck out.
A lot of people up in arms that a possible sale could go to a Saudi group. Let me just tell you this much. If you would dig deep into many companies in this country, there's a lot of Saudi money in a lot of those countries. I noticed that just because of the argument with Live Golf. People are talking about how that's Saudi backed. Just take a look at a lot of the companies that you support.
Well, the problem is Live Golf is having a real hard time securing a decent television deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying
because of who they're owned by.
I'm just saying, take a look at some of the companies that you probably support. You might be surprised. Okay.
I need to address this right off the bat. Steven, you're out of your damn mind. First off, when Vince left in the summer, stock went up. Early in December, when the Wall Street Journal report came out that Vince wanted to come back, stock went down. The only reason stock is up right now is because everybody on Wall Street gets a hard-on when they hear the word that the company is up for sale. And this happens to any company that's big, that's being held up for a potential sale, the stock goes up. This has absolutely nothing to do with Vince McMahon's return and everything to do with the fact that WWE will be selling probably in the first half of 2023.
The name on the contract says McMahon, but it says Shane McMahon.
I had a better line earlier this week. The line on the contract says Khan, but it wasn't Nick. It was me, Vince. Tony Khan of WWE now.
And I don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to happen either, but it would be fucking hilarious. NBC Universal. To me, it's either NBC Universal or Disney. Yeah. I think are the two top front runners to get WWE, and I would put a long shot in on Amazon.
I do not want to see Disney
in third
owning
place.
I do not want to see Disney owning it.
You can't roll it out. WWE Network is already on Disney Plus in the Southeast Asia territory, like in the Philippines and all that. If you want to watch WWE Network, it's on Disney Plus. So it's not like Disney and WWE don't already have some kind of relationship to begin with. Yeah. You can't roll out the mouse.
Some people
the mouse comes in and buys up everything for some reason.
Yeah. And some people say they've ruined Star Wars franchise, but yet look what they've done with Marvel. So I don't know if they've ruined it.
But at the same token, how can you say they ruined a franchise that lay dormant for almost a decade? They weren't doing anything with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Disney rebuying Star Wars actually, brought the franchise back into prominence. Whether you love or hate the movies or television shows or everything that they've done, Star Wars has been a lot more, in the public eye now under Disney than it was before they were bought by them.
Alex Sherman of CNBC reports that WWE has hired J.P. Morgan to advise on a potential sale. The report states a deal will likely happen around the middle of 2023, which is around the time TV negotiations for WWE would take place. And of course, that would then go into effect at the first of the year. WWE's media rights deals with Raw on the USA Network and SmackDown on Fox both expire at the first of the year. So that's going to be
to me, this is NBC Universal going, man. If we could secure this deal in the first half of the year, we bring SmackDown back to the USA Network, and we don't have to worry about paying these media rights, anymore going forward.
SmackDown could be on NBC.
It really seems like a no-brainer. Dude, I'm telling you, if Comcast NBC Universal gets WWE and they don't bring back Saturday night's main event on NBC, they're on crack.
SmackDown can
because that seems like a no-brainer.
SmackDown could easily be on NBC on Fridays at 7 too. Their main night is Wednesday with the Chicago shows. Let me see what is on NBC on a Friday night. That's right. They got Young Rock and the comedy
Young Rock
hour.
Got moved to Friday nights head to head with SmackDown. I don't know why they did that. I think that's not in their best interests, but what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that either, especially to directly compete against if it was at 9 o'clock, that would make okay sense. But again, it's a Friday. Fridays are not really Lopez versus Lopez, which is supposedly doing really well. That's at 7. Young Rock. Then it's Dateline NBC.
For everybody who's confused, JB lives in the world of Central Time and in the world of East Coast time, where most people understand things. 8 o'clock Lopez versus Lopez, 8:30 Young Rock.
So
SmackDown airs 8 to 10, not 7 to 9.
After
Come on,
that,
man.
After that, it's Dateline NBC for 2 hours. So they could easily move Lopez. They could easily put Dateline NBC at any day of the week. They could easily move Lopez versus Lopez and Young Rock to a better night. Though Friday night early is not a bad slot. You could have them follow SmackDown. SmackDown brings in $2.5 million. You could put Lopez versus Lopez and Young Rock.
Honestly, you put Young Rock as a follow up to SmackDown. Kind of seems like a no brainer for that audience.
Yeah, Steven, and I just don't think it's a fit with Disney either. Disney has the money, that's why they're in on the deal. But
there's plenty of language on several Disney properties. I don't buy in. I don't buy into that. Look, I do agree with this. The streaming quality of Thursday Night Football sucks ass, but they have the money to get it if they want to. So
I've never had a problem with that. I've actually never had a problem with Thursday night.
More often than not, when I boot up a Thursday night game, it looks like shit.
Probably helps that I have fiber internet as well.
Dude, I've got a fucking Ethernet cable plugged in the back of my TV, and it still looks like fucking shit.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with Amazon.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with them for their on-demand stuff, but live stuff. So I've definitely had issues with that.
As Matt mentioned, the stock after the announcement of Vince shot up to its highest number since 2019. Currently now $87.82. If we're looking at a 1 month, oof, geez, that graphic, that graphic from December 28th, it was $67.51. So it shot up over $20 a share in just less than 2 weeks. It shot up to $87.82. Actually, it gained $12.41 over the past month. The past
Wall
day
Street loves a good sale, man.
Yeah, the past day, just today, the stock went up $3.50 to $87.82. So I remember when we were talking about
that JP Morgan story over the weekend only fueled
Yep.
only fueled that stock today. That's just all on the short of it. People on Wall Street very, very excited, when shit's being sold.
Yeah, you can move SmackDown to Tuesday. Yeah, maybe. I think WWE likes
Honestly,
I like
if I'm
WWE
NBC,
likes SmackDown on Friday because of their travel logistics.
honestly, I would move SmackDown back to Thursday, and I would move NXT back to Peacock.
Yeah.
That's what I, if I'm USA, that's what I would do. NXT off cable. You're done. You're
Yeah.
out of here. You're on. We're gonna move you back to Peacock. Give a reason for the people who actually watch NXT and are excited about NXT to subscribe and use the Peacock service on the weekly. And I move SmackDown back to Thursday nights.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Impact, you will no longer own the night.
Well, and most cable companies are not going to hate a 650,000 viewership on a Tuesday either. So I don't think NXT is in any trouble of going off of USA.
I just don't know if USA Network wants 3 WWE shows on their weekly primetime rotation.
Yeah. Coming up, we got a little update here from Sean Ross Sapp. This actually dropped today. Some free agent updates with Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona, and Kylie Ray specifically. We have learned today that although she has not shown up on television yet, Chelsea Green has indeed been signed to the WWE for quite some time and just awaiting creative. Fightful asked her to confirm personally a number of times, but obviously she's not saying anything for obvious reasons. And of course, as you know, Green shut down her OnlyFans page recently, which is a major signal to that she's going to WWE. The major pod had to limit production of new Chelsea Green merchandise as a result of her signing. I've been saying this ever since Mandy Rose was released. Chelsea Green would be a perfect fit for Toxic Attraction, and both Gigi and JC are ready for the main event. So you could put them on SmackDown or Raw. It don't matter. I think they're ready.
SmackDown needs the help.
Yeah, which got a boost with Charlotte. So that's good there. So it'd be interesting to see with Chelsea when, I mean, it's got to be very soon. If not, at the very latest, the Royal Rumble. The very latest.
You would think so anyway.
Yeah, in regards to Matt Cardona, a lot of speculation about what he could do with his wife heading to WWE. Sources have indicated that Cardona is not signed, but that they should not rule anything out for the future. So it looks like they probably are at least trying to reach out. Probably helps that one of his better friends, Cody's probably there now and sees how well Cody has done being coming in from the outside and being able to maintain a lot of the stuff that he was post WWE. And I've said it on this show before that I think Matt Cardona has built up enough stock on the indies to be able to come in as Matt Cardona and probably, I mean, hell, the same damn band has made Matt Cardona's themes in the past. I don't know if his current theme is made by them, but
Cardona, Miz, and Cody's themes are all done by Downstraight. It's all the same band.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if his current theme was that or not. So
always ready. He's Downstraight.
Charles in the chat here. Good to see Charles on the show here. My money's on Disney buying WWE, except SmackDown. All WWE is on Disney. Raw, NXT, USA owned by Disney. WWE Network on Peacock is NBC.
Disney does not own NBC. Disney owns ABC. Mm-hmm. NBC is owned by Comcast.
Yep.
That's why we think NBC, Comcast, NBC Universal probably the front runner, because NBC Universal is under USA, which is owned by NBC, which is owned by Comcast. It's not a Disney property.
Chris in the chat saying keep SmackDown on Friday. I think that's what WWE wants, just for logistics.
I don't think WWE wants to keep SmackDown on Friday. I think they'd be very happy to remove SmackDown from Friday. It is logistically the worst night of television when it comes to viewership and prime.
I'm talking about travel and other things, production reasons.
But I mean, moving Thursday to Friday isn't going to make much of a difference. Plus, they could start their house show loop early on Friday nights if they move SmackDown to Thursday. I really don't think it would be that big of a deal.
Toxic
and I think their viewership would go up being on Thursday nights as well.
Steven Chambers, toxic attraction against damage control. That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm good. I'm good with that. I've been more good with that with Mandy in the mix, but what can you do?
Feel bad for the wrestlers that return to WWE and trying to return. Well, Vince is not part of creative, so
yeah. But the thing is, when things are being lined up for a sale or when sales happen, budget cuts happen.
Yeah. Well, that's already happened.
Honestly,
that's already been happening.
Yeah, but I mean, Triple H brought a lot of those budget cuts back. So,
not all of them.
If I am a WWE employee, like if I'm a WWE superstar or an employee, I'd be very worried this year that I could be axed again.
I mean, considering in 2020,
I would very much be worried about that.
They let go of 80 wrestlers in 2020 and even more in 2021. They have not hired that many back, so I think they have done a lot of cuts.
No, I'm just look. I'm not saying they brought them all back, but they've brought back a good quarter. I'd say they brought back a good quarter of those that were released. So.
And Mark Cho saying, well, SmackDown's getting Lacey Evans slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter buried her on Twitter over the weekend, and I loved it.
Everybody's burying her on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's even better when it's some Sergeant Slaughter.
That's true. Kylie Ray has had a WWE tryout that had led to her appearing on Main Event, which also led to speculation that she signed, but confirmation so far she is still a free agent.
If I'm WWE, I'm not burning her in. She's too sporadic. She can't be trusted. She's basically gotten out of every single wrestling contract she's ever had. I don't think the headache's worth the talent.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I like her. I like her work, but it happened in AEW. It happened in Impact. It happened in NWA. It's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. And in the extensive road life that you undergo as a WWE superstar, if she couldn't handle, Impact in AEW, I don't know if she could handle the WWE road schedule. And I don't want to see her, come in there and fail again, because that would be like absolutely devastating from a career standpoint. Like, how do you bounce back from literally doing this in every single major national company in America?
Yeah.
I think she's better to just stay a free agent, do her indies, appear in companies that will have her. I don't know if WWE is the right fit for her right now. I really don't.
About 4 hours ago, some big news dropped. Some great news if you're following the Wyatt story. But an interesting name is backstage at WWE Raw tonight. Fightful Select can confirm that Bo Dallas is backstage at Raw. Obviously, there has been the speculation that he is Uncle Howdy.
Yes!
But
how can you not be excited about this?
As Fightful has said, we will work for more details. But this is promising for those that wanted Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, such as myself. It's good to see. I've wanted it to be Bo for many reasons, because he didn't get a fair shake on the main roster after a hell of a championship run in NXT as the brand's third champion ever. I think was it Rollins, then Big E, then Bo.
I think so. Yes.
And then obviously you saw what they didn't do with him on the main roster. There was money putting him with Bray in the beginning. They didn't do it. The funniest thing, the thing that got him over the most was the fucking B team. That was the thing that got him over the most
on the main roster. Yeah.
Probably. I would say Axel, maybe Axelmania might have been the biggest thing for him, but
yeah, Axelmania was crazy. That really ran great.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
and he kept living the gimmick later on, how he never has been eliminated from the Royal. It's been 200 days since I've not been eliminated in the Royal.
I mean, that's exactly where I'd start her. If they went ahead and signed her, you got to make sure that she would last in NXT before you even think about
who is also
putting
going
her
on the
Raw
road,
and SmackDown.
who is also going on the road more than 2023, but obviously not as rigorous.
Not
of a
nearly
schedule.
as much. Yeah, not nearly as much as Raw and SmackDown.
Mark in the chat, thanks for joining us tonight, Mark. Excited as I was to see Bray return. LA Knight has been carrying that feud, and it's been pretty good. Yeah, that feud has been good. I have enjoyed it.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. People comment about how slow it goes, and yes, I got to that point.
It's a little too slow for my liking, but I'm hoping by
we're
the
progressing.
Royal Rumble when he finally gets in the ring for his dark purple lighted Mountain Dew match, that will actually hit the ground running for Wyatt on the road to WrestleMania. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. But yeah, I've enjoyed the feud. I was very excited to see that LA Knight was going to be Bray Wyatt's first feud on the return back. I have thoroughly enjoyed the feud a lot. So got to Bleav in Uncle Howdy. That's going to be fun. I don't know if he's God, if it's tonight. Ooh.
I don't see any other reason for him to be there if he's not going to be he's going to be used in the Bliss segment, assuming.
Yeah, because a lot of
to explain her actions.
Yeah, because
on Raw tonight. So
because I mean Wyatt's been on SmackDown for the majority of everything. So
yeah, he hasn't been on any He hasn't been on any Raw branded shows since he's been back.
He not on the first Raw after his return?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's strictly been. They've aired video packages for him on Raw, but I think like as far as appearances go, it's either been SmackDown or Premium Live events. I don't think he's been on Raw at all.
Moving on here, continuing with what has been a great run over the last couple of years. That guy right there on the right, not the guy on the left, but the guy on the right, Speedball Mike Bailey. Congrats to Speedball Mike Bailey, who's been killing it. Impact, a match of the year contender with Josh Alexander earlier this year in Impact, has won the Battle of Los Angeles in 2023. Defeated Takeshita in the finals of the tournament. He was a late add. Konosuke Takeshita was a late add to the field there. Bailey's been having a hell of a run, GCW, Impact Wrestling, and now the champion of a very prestigious indie tournament. He competed defeated Jordan Grace, Sean Skywalker, Brian Keith to make the finals against Takeshita. Another funny thing from the Battle of Los Angeles was pitted in the first match, Jordan Grace against her husband, Jonathan Gresham.
I think
she beat him.
I think the craziest thing about the Battle of Los Angeles weekend is the Jericho Appreciation Society showed up and worked the freaking match.
I was
Chris Jericho working PWG in 2023. What's going on?
Yeah, you killed my follow up to that, but yes,
sorry,
Jericho. Jericho appears
very shocked by
it. Chris Jericho appeared at night 2 and at the Globe Theater, and there he was, and he didn't come alone. He brought Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, who did compete in the tournament, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Ty Mello, and Anna J.A.S.
Brought the whole freaking group.
Yeah, they had an 8-man tag as Jericho, Guevara, Garcia, Parker, and Menard took on player Uno, Kevin Blackwood, Gresham, and Kento, and Michael Oku. Oh, it was a 10-man tag. Sorry,
10-man tag. Yeah,
I missed Menard. So you like them apples? Sorry, there, Matt. Didn't mean to leave you out.
You want to taste?
You like that?
You want to taste? Not thinking he's in a match.
You want to taste? Yeah, man. Why get this shit on Fight TV, please? For the love of God, I will pay.
I will never understand PWG's distribution thing. Like a decade ago, it made sense. In 2023, come on, man. You gotta get with the times more. Every other company is, doing things better in terms of distribution. PWG needs to change.
Masha Slamovich, she beat Alex Shelley in the first night, but I thought it was funny that Jordan Grace defeated Jonathan Gresham, put over his lady. What a man.
Predictions or wishful thinking?
Well,
wishful thinking is Josh Alexander beats Bully Ray so bad we never have to see him in a wrestling ring again.
are you afraid that he's going to win?
Petrified.
For those that are
because I don't want to ever see him in a wrestling ring again. I want Alexander to end him at Hard to Kill on Friday.
For those that are podcasting it, Stephen Chambers in the chat, any predictions for Impact Hard to Kill, which is on Friday the 13th? Why they go up against SmackDown is beyond me.
And expect people to pay for it when there's free professional wrestling on Friday night instead. Like it makes no sense that they don't run their pay-per-views on Saturday nights.
I honestly think that Jordan's going to beat Mickie James. I think Mickie is. I would not be surprised if Mickie and Nick head to WWE.
That's the only way she loses on Friday is if she's going back to WWE, and she's kind of implied in recent interviews that if she loses, she's done. But I think she's got a lot more left to give, so I don't think she should lose. But at the same token, WWE with Aldis makes a lot of sense. So
that's my New Year's resolution, is to watch more Impact. I didn't get to watch as much as I normally would, and then for the love of God, YouTube TV, add that fucking channel, man.
That would have been my New Year's resolution any other year than the year Bully Ray is actively competing in the main event scene there.
Hey, I will take Bully Ray as champion any goddamn day over Tyrus. So, hey.
Oh God, you're asking me to choose between
that's
poop and shit and pooping.
No, it's a
poop
turd
on a
sandwich.
stick.
Turd sandwich and a what was it? Giant douche and a turd sandwich. For
going
back
much.
to the old South Park days.
Look. At least Bully Ray can work, but he's still. I can't stand him. I don't want him on my TV.
Got a fatal 4-way for the tag titles: Machine Guns, Heath and Rhino, Major Players, and Bullet Club. I would not be surprised if Bullet Club wins that. Cardona is such a question mark. You can't have the Major Players win that one. Heath and Rhino maybe, but I kind of feel like Ace and Bay might take those.
You can if they have him locked into a deal. I mean, we don't know. I hear recently they just locked down Brian Myers again. So
Mark Cho agrees. Bully winning still isn't worse than Tyrus winning. So
yes, look. Again, comparison. They're both shit. It's just different in different forms. So I don't want it. Nothing.
And then you got a fatal 4-way for the women's number one contender: Deanna, Killer Kelly, Masha, and Taylor. Like I said, I think Jordan's going to be.
This is something that's going to heavily depend on the winner of Masha and not Masha, but Mickie and Jordan.
Yeah, I think Masha wins and then finally wins it over Jordan. So I think Mickey's going to lose that one.
I think Masha's done, dude. I think if they want to keep Deanna happy, I think Deanna goes over here.
Maybe. Yep. Gresham and Eddie Edwards to continue what started with when Honor No More started. And then Joe Hendry taking on Moose for the Impact Digital Media title. So, yeah. What channel? I'm talking about Access TV, Charles, where Impact is, but also, I mean, there's a lot of great rock documentaries and concerts. That's a great channel. I just kind of wish that was on my channel, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have it on my cable provider, but there's a lot of people who don't. It's definitely not a big. It's not a big popular channel in the United States.
I think Philo may be Sling. Philo and Sling are the only streaming cable services I think that carry it.
The thing about Mickie going back to WWE, Frantic, it's just the simple fact that she really wants that match with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And Charlotte really wants that match with Mickie. And I think if those two could figure out a way to make it work and can do a storyline, like even if she's only there for a couple of months, like I feel like that's a match both of them, really want to have.
Yeah.
Well, it was until Anthem bought it. Anthem owns.
Oh yeah,
Access
Anthem owns
TV,
Access,
which is why Impact's. That's why Impact's on there because they own the channel.
Big news dropping that Money in the Bank is going to be heading across the pond at London's O2 Arena. Fightful has some information from Fightful. They spoke to sources about the announcement and asked about the decision to run O2 as opposed to a stadium with the success of Clash at the Castle. One source said that they view the O2 Arena as the MSG of England, a venue they want to travel to. And again, this was back when they wanted to put Money in the Bank in a stadium, and I said this on our podcast in the past. Money in the Bank does not work as well in a stadium. It works better in a more intimate environment where you can kind of get a better level of excitement.
You say that, but I disagree because they had a great series of Money in the Bank matches in stadiums at WrestleMania, and the match worked great there every single WrestleMania. I was at WrestleMania with Money in the Bank featured there, and it was awesome.
I was there for one.
Yeah.
Or no,
so,
no, that was an Intercontinental match.
Yeah, the 30-32 was Intercontinental title. I was there at 25 when Punk won the briefcase, and it was great at WrestleMania. The thing is, I don't understand if you're gonna go through all the expense to go to London for Money in the Bank, why aren't you just doing it in a stadium? Because in London, you're gonna sell that out. I feel like WWE's leaving money on the table to go over there for this event and not putting it in a stadium. It's a very puzzling move. The only thing that leads me to wonder is if WWE is trying to keep AEW out of the O2 Arena, and because AEW is going over to London and the UK later this year, maybe WWE is like, all right, well, if we bring a pay-per-view to you guys, you won't let AEW run events here. And I could see that happening because that game's played in the United States all the time.
Yeah,
there's venues that AEW just simply can't get into because WWE owns a lockdown on that building, and I would not be surprised if WWE's trying to do a power play with the O2 Arena to do the exact same thing.
And with the rumors that Hell in a Cell is no longer going to be a pay-per-view, a lot of people, there were rumors that Money in the Bank would no longer be a pay-per-view, maybe moving it back to WrestleMania. But according to Fightful Select, that was not seriously considered in regards to Money in the Bank. So there you go. All right. A big show happened very late at night for us on January 4th. Wrestle Kingdom 17 from the Tokyo Dome. One night followed by another night too, which I don't think they really brand. Did they really brand that as Wrestle Kingdom?
Wait, what do you mean?
Are they branding night 2 as Wrestle Kingdom on the 21st?
It's not listed as Wrestle Kingdom on New Japan World, but I mean, I've heard people call it, Wrestle Kingdom Night 2, so I'm not really sure. I haven't even heard of a card for it yet, and it's less than 2 weeks away.
Besides,
kind of confusing.
Besides Omega and Ospreay, because that's the obvious. What really impressed you on Wrestle Kingdom 17?
That Jay White and Okada, and I liked the women's match. I wish it would have been longer, and I liked the Mercedes Money debut. I thought it was good. I know some people didn't care for it, but I thought it's a big deal.
Some people saying she botched the move.
If anything, Carrie botched the move, and that and that happens. This shit freaking happens. So it doesn't really matter. Just the fact that a woman made a debut in the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom for a company who really hasn't promoted women's wrestling in forever, it was a big deal. It was a big moment. And the fact that Battle in the Valley in San Jose next month is practically sold out on the only match announcement of being Mercedes against Kyrie for that title says a lot about the drawing power of Mercedes in women's wrestling on a New Japan scale.
Is Tam Nakano Bull's daughter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was only a 6-minute match, Kyrie and Tam. I did not watch Wrestle Kingdom yet. Eventually I will get it in when I get some free time.
Look, if you see nothing else, you need to watch Omega and Ospreay, because it's seriously one of my favorite matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna...
I really don't know if any match in 2023 is going to top that. They came out 4 days into the new year and said, beat that, motherfuckers. because
I was having
it was incredible.
Yeah, I was having some sleep issues, so I was still awake when Mercedes debuted. So I watched that replay when New Japan graciously put the entire thing on Twitter, literally after it happened. I am interested in seeing Narita and Sabre for the television title. I bet that was pretty damn good. I definitely want to see that fatal 4-way for the junior heavyweight with Takahashi. Hiromu is one of my favorites, and glad he got the win there. Against Ishimori, Desperado, and Wado. But obviously, yeah, the last two matches, I mean. But yeah, Steven Chambers in the chat talking about Tama Tonga. Actually, Fightful Select brought up possibly bringing him in. Also talking about Hikuleu. Tama is now 40, though. Do you see any sort of play to bring Tama Tonga in?
If they want Hikuleo, it might come as a package deal, so I can't rule it out. Jay White's New Japan for life unless he goes to AEW. I don't ever see the Switchblade character working in WWE. He's got to be. He's got New Japan, Impact, AEW. That's where Jay White rules.
Charles,
he's not going to come to WWE.
That does not include live Impact. It's just replays of old pay-per-views and old Impacts. I've actually that same channel is actually on Pluto for free, so it's not. It's
free on Pluto, but it's $10.99 on YouTube.
That's because of look at the second thing on there, NFL Red Zone. I pay for that package and then I unsubscribe, like I just did because the NFL season's over. But yeah, that does not play Impact Live. So look who's in the house. SP3. Thanks for jumping in, brother. Tama Tonga.
Not wrong.
No.
Yeah, Tama Tonga would be a step up from the majority of the people Triple H has brought back. Yeah, age means nothing in the world of professional wrestling because most people in their prime, like back in the day, were in their prime in like their 40s and 50s. So like Tama Tonga at 40, like that dude still can go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
I would love to see them bring him back.
I mean, you remember the 1980s and the 1990s when your peak was like 35. You were just getting going in your late 30s. So
DDP didn't start his wrestling career to his late 30s.
Yeah, Billy Gunn 59, Jericho 52. Jericho again
63.
I know you don't like him, but Jeff Jarrett's been serviceable in the ring this year in different matches with different companies. Jericho is 52. Jericho is 52, and he was in a lot of people's best wrestler of the year list. How impressive is that, by the way?
Jericho arguably had the best year of his career in 2022.
Yeah.
Like you could definitely make an argument that in 2022 at 52 years old, Jericho had his best year as a professional wrestler, which is insane to think about. Yeah. But like I said, also like Stain at 63, insane. Jarrett, just because I don't personally want him on my TV, I'm not taking away from what the man can do in the ring. Jarrett can still get in the ring and go, and he draws heat like a mofo.
Still good on the mic too,
which is why TK puts him on TV. I would prefer him to be I would prefer him in the backstage role, for the doing the live event stuff. But look, if Tony Khan wants to put him on damn TV every week, what can I do? I could just sit here and say I'd much rather see people like Miro instead.
Anything else on Wrestle Kingdom?
Anderson and Tama Tonga had a good match until the finish. They botched the stun gun finish, unfortunately. But other than that, I thought the match was good. And there was good stuff on Wrestle Kingdom. I thought at least half the matches were shorter than I expected them to be. But then when you give the time that you give to the two main events, it kind of makes sense. So
combined for 68 minutes. Roughly. Yeah, that is man. It just the image of Kenny Omega, just like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, behind that busted up table. It was
great, dude.
That was fucking gold. Real quick, holy crap, we're already at a quarter till.
Everybody's talking. We're talking with them. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. Jesus. That's funny.
I appreciate all you guys in the live chat. You all roll.
Hell yeah.
I love when y'all come out and ramble with us every single week. It's great.
Props to Chris Jericho too for donating to Damar Hamlin's charity. Insane how that's gotten to 8 million now. Very good. He's out of the hospital now.
I love it.
On his way to a Buffalo hospital now, so that's good.
What a great feel-good story that last week is provided with Damar Hamlin. God bless that man.
Obviously, this ain't the end. We're gonna run quickly through television here. Bliss obviously not done with Bel Air. Maybe that's why Bo Dallas is there tonight, though, like we said.
No, yeah, I think we will see Uncle Howdy tonight during the Alexa Bliss segment.
Will he reveal himself tonight?
I don't think so. No, I do not see him. I do not see him revealing himself tonight. I feel like that's something you save for like the Rumble. You can reveal him at the Rumble.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. It's going to be cool either way, but it's good to hear that. Good to hear that Bo Dallas is there, which makes our suspicions great. And
Austin 6, baby.
Austin Theory and Rollins had a hell of a main event too on Raw. That was a damn good match there. His stadium was amazing. Yeah, I mean, how about Naheem Hines returning the opening kickoff to the house for Hamlin and then doing it again later in the game? That was insane. I had friends that were at that Cincy game. That traveled. They traveled to Cincinnati for New Year's Eve and had tickets for Monday Night Football. So that was
awful. It was awful.
So I would say if you did not watch Raw, go out of your way to at least watch the main event because that was definitely great. NXT, watch Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews. They did a great job. Outside of that, we got to see Dijak kill Stax again. That was kind of cool. And then all the women in the company brawling. That was kind of fun. I'm like, God, they should do a Royal Rumble. And look, that set that up for a number one contenders battle royal. Who do you think is going to win out of that for the women? Do you think that'll be Cora Jade? Maybe Cora and Roxanne for the title at New Year's, what's that? Vengeance Day?
It's either Cora Jade or I'm blanking on her name. The woman who turned on Nikita Lyons.
Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark. Yeah, I think it's one of the two. Because they make sense as the first, challenger.
Yeah.
For it to be in that role.
Obviously, Sammy and the bloodline, it continues to get a little iffy. I thought it would get a lot more iffy if Drew and Sheamus happened to win. That was where I would have shifted my prediction of Sammy winning the Royal Rumble, but now obviously the KO plan is still in place like we expected. But yet another banger, as they say, as Sheamus likes to say.
Banger Bros.
Oh man, that's not. There's no context under that, is there?
Sheamus put up a poll on Twitter Saturday afternoon.
And they have a banger bro bus, a bang bus.
Asking what type of vehicle the Banger Bros should travel in. And a bus won like 70% of the votes.
Oh my god. And it won now and they got a bus. So now there's a Banger Bro bus. So that's so fun. Kofi Kingston and Santos Escobar had a good match. Santos getting a big win over Kofi too, by the way. Probably the biggest win of his career there. We got to see Scarlett wrestle finally. That was nice.
About damn time.
Yeah, that was nice.
About damn time.
Babyface Charlotte, I'm digging so far. So far so good on that front. Ricochet qualifies for the Royal Rumble. And how about Sami Zayn with the popcorn celebration at the end of SmackDown?
I loved the popcorn progression throughout the main event. First, it's just Sammy with the bucket of popcorn. Then Sammy, Paul, and Roman all have buckets of popcorn. And then Sammy celebrates with the popcorn like it's a fucking bottle of champagne. Freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I liked how he's like, here, Roman, you want some? And Roman's like, and then all of a sudden Paul got his own bucket out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
I to answer Mark's question, I've seen short clips of the Maximum Male Models videos. They're funny. I don't know if it's ever gonna really
It's never
translate to SmackDown.
No.
I feel like they're kind of already been burned. Like Vince's run with them did them no favors, and I don't know if Hunter's overly gun ho into attempting to save them. But stranger things have happened.
That is true. Moving on to AEW, Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho had a damn good match. Ricky getting the bounce back win after losing his title chances, and Jericho continuing his slide ever since he was lost his ROH World title to Claudio, and then of course the big upset against Action Andretti. So Ricky Starks then gets the beat down by the JAS. Then well, Andrade tried to make the save, but it didn't quite work out for them this time. Hangman Page is still not cleared, but damn, that's been a great feud with him and Moxley. That clearance will probably happen this week, don't you think, Matt?
He announced he was cleared on Rampage Friday.
Yeah, so
I mean, he's been cleared for weeks. I mean, he's not back at TV if he's not cleared. So it's good to have him back in the fold. I think Heyman's going to get a big win over Moxley on Dynamite this week.
Aubrey Edwards admonishing Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett twice this week, and that led to
should.
That was great. Paul and Sanjay, that was hilarious. The Acclaimed, of course, retained on Dynamite and then retained later at Battle of the Belts. They did a little interview with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, who used the words "the boss," which got me thinking.
"I'm the boss," and then winked at the freaking camera. Like, okay, Britt, we got it. Like, that's Darby's "even if you think you're the best in the world" line heading into the first dance. Like, she's clearly, whether she's the partner or not, she's going to be on Dynamite this Wednesday night. It's going to be freaking cool.
I seriously want her to join up with Britt and they turn on Hayter. And
I
imagine Mercedes and Britt together, man. That would be awesome.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's going to be Tony, Saraya, and Mercedes as the heels against Sheeta, Britt, and Jamie as the baby faces.
Oh.
And I think this will eventually lead to blood and guts.
Banger Bros sounds like something out of that one company in Florida that would come up with. Yeah. Maximum Male Models, there's potential, and hey, you got to give them props to at least
I appreciate that they're trying to make it work.
Going all out.
The group's trying to make it work.
My Lord, Maxine is amazing. But yeah, Mercedes.
I love the popcorn finish.
Mercedes, man, that'll be
well, the boss and the CEO, it's the same freaking thing. It's not, Britt saying "I'm the CEO" doesn't make any damn sense. So her saying "I'm the boss" with the wink to the camera was definitely a tease for the incoming arrival of Mercedes, because Mercedes can't call herself the boss anymore because it's trademarked by WWE. That's why she's the CEO instead.
A gigantic ovation in his home state for Bryan Danielson as he took on Tony Nese, and then a great promo back and forth with MJF as well. Swerve Strickland and AR Fox, if you remember Lucha Underground, they had great feuds there. So good. That was a great match. I was happy that got a little bit of time, got about 10 minutes. Then we got where Saraya says she chooses Tony Storm, and Sheeta's all mad. Poor Sheeta. Red Velvet is looking like she's no longer a baddie anymore. And then the main event. Wow, I did not expect this, honestly. But Darby Allin is your new television champion. That was a hell of a match, too. Basically, Joe beat the shit out of Darby for 10 minutes.
Darby got the Darby got the head start on him with the attacking him before the bell because he went after Nick Wayne.
Yeah. Oh,
So
Nick
put them
Wayne.
on more of an even, put them more on an even playing field before, unlike their match from last month.
And then on Rampage, different members, but Blackpool Combat Club with yet another great match against Top Flight. I think, in my opinion, this is actually kind of making Top Flight, evolving Top Flight. And obviously, we know they're a great tag team, but this was definitely, these two matches that they've had with the Blackpool Combat Club have been damn good. The Renegades. I like the Renegades. The Renegade twins took on Britt and Jamie also, and then we got ourselves Preston Vance in a squash, and then the main event, Darby Allin taking on Mike Bennett in a decent main event. I like that one with Darby and Mike Bennett. Battle of the Belts. We had tag titles again, which was thankfully retained by the. I was worried for a minute, but thank God the Acclaim retained. Jamie Hayter beat Sky Blue and Orange Cassidy. Jade Cargill beat, and then Orange Cassidy beating Kip Sabian. And we look ahead to AEW this Wednesday and Raw tonight. On AEW this Wednesday is the final, the match 7, Escalera de la Muerte. That is going to be an insane match for the trios titles. Moxley and Hangman Page is now official. And my God, Konosuke Takeshita and Bryan Danielson. I cannot wait for that one. JAS is going to appear. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty take on Jungle Hook. And Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, take on Saraya and Tony Storm for now. Wow, this is a effing fucking stacked Dynamite.
It's a free pay-per-view on a Wednesday. You gotta love it.
Oh my!
Then they're coming all guns blazing in LA, man. Kia Forum is gonna be hot on Wednesday night.
No Raw preview yet from Fightful Select. So that might be coming later. I don't know. What is happening here? Only 2 things. Find out what's next for Austin Theory, and Alexa Bliss explains her brutal actions. That's all WWE has right now.
They're punting against the college football championship game. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Charles, I am very pumped for AEW Fight Forever. I think it's going to be sick. And I've talked to some people who do mods. They are very excited that this game's on the Unreal Engine. And I think we're going to see some of the craziest mods that we've ever seen in a wrestling video game in probably forever. It's going to be good shit.
Yeah, no release date yet, except probably early first
I'm
quarter.
I'm hearing a date.
No.
I'm hearing a date. I'm not going to. It should be out before the next AEW pay-per-view. I will say that.
Oh, that's a ways away.
The next AEW pay-per-view is March 5th.
That's 2 months.
Well, all I'm saying is we should have that game unless something else happens again. We should have that game in our hands before the pay-per-view takes place on March 5th.
All right, well, it is time to switch over to Monday Night Raw. Thank you for tuning into Lost the Midcard. Make sure you give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up on the video, help us reach as many people as possible, and, of course, comment on like you have been. We love you guys for joining us live. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we can catch you again, as we are always here on Monday, the hour before Monday Night Raw. Before we go check out Raw, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Really excited about Dynamite on Wednesday. I hope Raw puts a good effort in tonight, even though they know they're going to get slaughtered against the college football game. But come on, Trips. Give us a good show. We're on the road to WrestleMania. No nights off at this point. Raw and SmackDown should be killing it every week between here and Mania. Hopefully we come back next week and we can talk about how great of a show Raw was, and we don't talk about how they just shit the bed tonight.
Well, for Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online. Yeah!